And just before you guys ask, I'm recording. I just started. What are we sitting at? Let's see. We're looking at
Right at 100.
right at 100. What a good number.
Oh,
We blew it.
we ruined it.
Oh well. I should have locked it as soon as we hit 100. Kept all the latecomers out. All right. If you're in CS1, you've already heard this, but if you're not, remember that this is being recorded, and I do have voice recognition software. So if I hear anybody not laughing, that's it. Why did the Scarecrow get tenure?
Oh, wait, I know this one.
The Scarecrow. Go ahead.
Tell us, why did the Scarecrow get tenure?
The Scarecrow got tenure because he was outstanding in his field.
Why?
I love that one. That's my new favorite. Halloween is a really good time for really bad jokes. So it's one of my favorite times of the year. All right. It is October 16th. Frank, take it away. I think you're first, right?
Yes. Welcome back, everyone. Thank God it's Friday. We have announcements about upcoming workshops for next week, a note for mentors, some general announcements, including some open source license drama, or I guess, well, license drama, which Professor Turner will get into, and then just attendance. Next slide. Okay, so next week on October 20th and 21st, we have two workshops given by two mentors, Brooklyn and Patrick. Brooklyn is doing mistakes you might be making in design on the 20th at 3 p.m. And Patrick is doing front end for dummies on the 21st at 5 p.m. So the links to the WebEx rooms will be posted on the server beforehand, and they'll be recorded, and we'll make sure that the recordings get out to everyone. And yeah, look forward to those.
Frank, could I ask you a question?
Of course.
If you're not a dummy, can you still go to front end for dummies?
Oh, we'd have to confirm, Patrick. There you go.
I mean, I'm not.
I'm a dummy. So if you're smarter than me, then why are you doing that? I mean, basically, the workshop is for people like me who were never in ITWS and need to figure out how anything works. So if you need to know, how do I pick my front end framework, or how does CSS work? I'm going to address some of that stuff for very basic stuff.
Cool.
Awesome.
And I'll also throw one out there for Brooklyn too. I've made some really bad mistakes in design. We call it engineering design as opposed to real design. So, if you're an engineer and you want to have all the buttons out on the front panel so you can tweak everything and end up with a big confusing mess, go talk to Brooklyn. There are she's really good at design, and it would be good to get us, it makes for a very satisfying engineering product, but a very bad consumer product if you don't do it right. So please, consider both of these as pretty good. And they fit together well, I think. I mean, seems like they should.
Definitely. Yeah. Great. So definitely check those out. And next slide, please.
Oops.
Okay. And for mentors, please continue grading. If you haven't looked at the attendance gradables on Simity yet for status updates, please go through those. There are some sections that don't have everything done yet, and we've had a couple people ask when we'll release them. So as soon as those are all in, we can get them released. And I believe, and we'll mention it later, we're working on getting rainbow grades up so everyone can see the progress. Though if you've been doing status updates with the sections that we asked for, you should really be fine. And also, we are trying to figure out a weekly time for mentor meetings. So there's a WhenlsGood, which if it's not posted in the mentors chat yet, it will be. I don't think we posted that yet, so we will shortly after this. Please fill that out as soon as you can. That's what we use to figure out what the best time for everyone is. Thank you in advance. And next slide. Some general announcements. Rainbow grades will be up by Tuesday. We'll try to get them in earlier, but that's what we're shooting for. And the HV Tech Fest virtual hackathon will be October 23rd to 24th. So coming up pretty soon. That's Friday and Saturday next week. Oh, here we go. Great. So definitely check this out. And you can sign up at the link there. And okay.
Why is this not giving me a place to full screen it anymore? Dang it. Oh, there we go.
So definitely check out the hackathon. Next slide.
All right,
Okay,
I guess.
up to you, Turner.
Okay, so I guess this one's for me. I sit in a lot of mailing lists, and there's in particular one that's kind of interesting. That's called MilOSS, so Military Open Source Software. If you know, the U.S. government has a lot of interest in open source software lately. The VA's administration was trying to open source their electronic health record. We've had a bunch of different initiatives in open source, but this particular one, Booz Allen Hamilton, is a defense contractor, and this is kind of, if you've heard of Openwashing, it seemed kind of appropriate for a week in which we just had Neha present on choosing an open source license. Booz Allen Hamilton has embraced the vocabulary of open source, but they've done it in a way that's kind of misleading. They have invented something called the Booz Allen Public License, which basically says that they still own the software, and if you are distributing software under this license, if you're doing a commercial sale, you have to get their permission, which is, if you're familiar with any of the open source, either the Free Software Foundation or the Open Source Initiative, right? This is one of the things that's disallowed by both definitions of open source. You can't require somebody to come back to you to ask for permission. By giving them the software, by allowing them to use the software in binary form, you've agreed that they own, whether they paid for it or not, that they own the rights to use that software as they would like. And so this is one of these things where we find very often in open source environments where what's actually going on is they're trying to use the language of open source to curry favor with a particular group, in this case with the federal government and with the military. And they're doing it while actually not being open at all, and in fact retaining pretty much all of the rights to any public sale of the open source software. So anyway, just seemed like this was kind of, it just came through my desk, through my email a few days ago. It was something that was pretty interesting to me. What was also really interesting is that there are a number of open source lawyers and proponents, including Dave Walker, who is one of the lawyers. He was one of the lawyers with the Free Software Foundation. He's one of the originators of a lot of the real open source licenses, commenting on this is essentially a whitewash and something that we really need to be careful of in the open source community. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out. It was an interesting thing. Open source is not a static thing. It's not, this isn't like we're not studying dead poets. This is, true now and evolving, and there's all sorts of things that go on in a general semester that actually do impact what we do. Anyway, that was just a little sidetrack from our meeting notes. But if you want to read up more on this, please check it out and go and trace it back to the to either the 10 principles of the OSI or the 4 freedoms of the Free Software Foundation. Pretty clearly in violation of both of those. I guess that's it. I guess I'm going to continue on. We've been trying. I tried this summer, a little bit in the spring, you know, for those of you who have been associated with RCOS in the past, you know that mostly during these small group days, what I do is I walk around and I try to get to as many rooms as possible. And I do it not to, you know, do laps around campus, but I do it so that I can go in and talk with you guys and find out how your projects are going and answer any questions you may have. You know, you can answer any questions I have. I can get a better feel for some of the really cool things that are going on in RCOS. That's really hard this semester, and it was really hard this summer. And so what Professor Kuzmin and I want to do is we want to give a little bit of that feel by having you guys meet with us. And I'm not exactly sure. We've got about 40 groups, I think. So it's going to be a little bit chaotic. I didn't want to put all of our schedules out on the web and just have you guys sign up, because that seemed like that was about the best way to get confusing that we could have, particularly since I'm not sure that Professor Kuzmin and I line up all that well. But what we decided to do was we're going to ask each project, each group, project team, YACS, Submittee, RAID FS, all the rest of you, everybody, to just sign up for a particular day and time. So you give us email address of one of the contacts, the project name, and then 4 date time pairs when you can be available. Now, the hope is that one of those will line up with something that Professor Kuzmin and I can do. And we're looking at probably 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes for a big group. A really big group with a lot of questions, we can go longer. But that's kind of the time frame we're looking in. What we're hoping is that we can do this during your regular meeting time. So you guys should all be meeting as small groups. A lot of you will do it right after this meeting. Some of you will do it, right after you view this meeting at 2 a.m. Our time, 2 p.m., China time, the other side of the 12-hour time zone difference. But the hope is that what you'll do is you'll invite us to come into one of your general small group meetings. We're not asking you to do an additional meeting. We just want you to tell us when you're going to be available, when you want to talk to us, or when you're available to talk to us, and then we'll drop in. We'll let you know ahead of time, right? We're going to get all these sheets together. We're going to find the times that match up with us, and the times that that try to schedule it as closely as possible. If we can't fit you in, we'll reach out for additional times. You give us your meeting room, so this would be your Discord channel, or your WebEx, or however you guys are getting together. And then if you have anything else, you can put that in there as well. And again, the idea is just we're going to drop in. We'll have an informal conversation. There's nothing you need to prepare unless you haven't been doing anything, and then you should do something first. And we'll come in. You can tell us about your project, about your goals, about what you're trying to accomplish this semester, and we'll just have a little bit of an informal conversation that hopefully helps us out. And you can ask us any questions you have at the end as well, or anywhere in there as well, so that we can kind of keep you on the path as well. We're going to ask you to give us the starting time, but expect it to be about an hour. Don't tell us I can meet from 1 to 1:15. If say 1 o'clock, expect somewhere between 1 and 2, and that way if we have like 2 people at 1 o'clock, we can maybe do one from 1 to 1:30, and one from 1:30 to 2. But we will loop back with you before we actually just show up. And hopefully this will be a fun thing for everybody. I know that it'll be very useful for me. I'm hoping that it'll be useful for Professor Kuzmin too, because he doesn't even know most of your projects. He hasn't been around with us that long, and I think this would be a good thing for him to see both the new projects and the old projects. The form is already in fall 2020. I think that gets pushed to announcements on Mattermost. Frank, I think
It's I think Town Square actually.
Town Square. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I'm sorry. I get those two confused. Yeah, so so you can get it on either platform. One person in your group fill it out. That way we only have to fit in 40 instead of 160 or 170. And I look forward to meeting with you guys. All right. Is anything else, Frank? Anything else, Olivia, Stephen, Kate, anybody?
Nothing on my end.
Just by the way, for mentors, we've posted the when is good to the chat.
And again, please, I think they made a pretty good case for why that's important. But please, let's get together so that we can, we got a little bit of a slow start this semester, and that's kind of why we're a little bit behind on some of these things. So let's get that all wrapped up and move things forward. One more thing that I missed. If you did a workshop, please send me the attendance list so that I can get those in. I've got the bonus sessions all set up. I'd like to get those out when we do the rainbow grades as well. So if you let me know, I'll put them in, and we'll be fine. Attendance.
Oh, Wes, I have an announcement about attendance, actually.
Go ahead.
So for those of you a while ago who were complaining about the fact that you have to pull out your phone and you can't just use the desktop version, cross my fingers. I believe. Now, I've only tested this on my machine, but it was working 100%. Theoretically, you should be able to use Venue, the website desktop version. You should be able to click the QR code, and if your browser allows you to, you should be able to grant Venue permission to, only on the client side, I don't see this, right? Server side doesn't see this. It should scan your screen for the QR code. So I guess, Wes, if you want to, yeah. I think you guys should be able to.
Okay, so we are making leaps and bounds improvements. I'm going to post this Serenity Now into the chat as well. I don't know if you guys watched Seinfeld, but this was a Serenity Now kind of day. So I felt the need to use appropriate passwords. If you're using Submity, the password will be Serenity Now. Spill the tea. Okay, I'm just looking back through and seeing if there's anything. Looks like we got everything. All right, if there are any more questions, I'm going to hang around till about 6 o'clock. You guys are all free to go once you've filled in your time cards. Once you've filled in your attendance code. I'm reading the chat as it goes by. I shouldn't read chat when I'm supposed to be talking because it makes me start laughing.
For the people sharing your screen, you actually have to navigate to your, you should be able to share your screen, and then if you tab over to the WebEx window, so that your screen actually displays the QR, then it should work. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
No, that's it. We're done. Might as well call time card submissions on Submity. That would be yeah, I should get there. All right. We'll see you guys later. Again, I'm going to turn off the recording, take down this thing. But if you guys have any questions, I'll be here for at least the next 54 minutes and 15 seconds if I'm reading my clock correctly. So we'll see you later.
Dr. Turner?
Sure.
For the meet your professors sign up thing, would it be okay if I put 9 p.m. because that's my group's meeting time?
It's okay. Let's try it. It'll depend on the day and things like that. But if that's your group's meeting time, we'll see if we can get Professor Kuzmin and I there. We may come back with a counter offer.
Okay.
But in all honesty, there's enough nights that I'm up at 9:30 or that I'm working at 9:30 that I'd appreciate a break.
I have some days when my office hours end at 8:55, so
Yeah.
9 p.m. would be perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
That's why we left it kind of open-ended. Let's at least see what we get, and then if we can make it, we can make it. If we can't, we come back and say, "What, are you guys crazy?" And you can say, "Sure."
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.